erectile dysfunction? Well, today I'll be talking about the psychological erectile dysfunction because it's wrecking a lot of homes. It's spoiling and damaging the ego of guys, and they don't even know why. Not every type of erectile dysfunction deserves a Viagra or similar drugs. Nope. There are a lot of erectile dysfunctions that can be sorted out. So let's talk about psychological erectile dysfunction. So psychological erectile dysfunction basically about guys who cannot keep it up for reasons that are not organic. There are reasons that are psychological. Now let's talk about a few of them and how you will know whether this is psychological or not. Well, the litmus test is if you're with a partner and you don't get a libido or you don't get an erection, and then you go outside, let's say you're watching television, you see a nude woman there, and all of a sudden you get an erection, then you know that what you have is a psychological impotence. Now, another example would be if you find yourself attracted to someone else and you are feeling, the bubbles, and the one-eyed man is lifting up and you don't get that at home, then that is still another evidence that you have psychological impotence. Now, in what scenarios do we usually get this psychological impotence? It's usually couples that have marital problems. You're having a fight, you're not talking to your partner, or your partner has offended you, you're just not in a good position as far as relationship is concerned with your partner. That could lead unconsciously into psychological impotence. That's one. Another scenario is where your partner is cheating, and sometimes you say, okay, I know that and I want to move on, but your brain is not moving on. That can lead to psychological impotence. And you have another scenario where you are going through a difficult time. And this is very common in men, especially middle-aged men. And that's why they call it middle-age crisis. Now, middle-aged men, and I'm talking about men in between the age of 40 to 55, what happens around this time is that most men find themselves in executive positions, leadership positions. There's a lot of pressure on them at home. And also, this is when the men grow fat, because now they have excess food and for some reason they can't leave work, they can't go home, so they buy a lot of snacks and junk food outside, and you see guys with pot bellies, etc. And this stress all adds up. Poor sleep with the stress of leadership, because most men in this category, they're in top positions where they work. And when men go through this stress, they just have the psychological impotence, because then their brain is not thinking sex. It's the last thing on their mind. And when they try to work it, it just doesn't work. Now, this kind of scenarios you can address without medication, because you can tag and look back and say, okay, you know what? What's causing this problem? Why am I having this? And when you talk to a counselor or you talk to a psychologist, they can help you work things out. For example, I've had scenarios where patients have this psychological impotence, and when we got talking about it, like why, what, it was just that the partner is no longer looking good. Just partner refused to take good care of his or herself, doesn't wear good clothing, now doesn't even bother putting on a cologne or a roll-on or a perfume, just believes that, well, I'm married now, I don't really need to put an effort into the way I look, and that is why the other partner is just not interested. He is interested, but he's not interested. So that can be addressed, hopefully, if the partner listens and starts to lose weight, dress well, smell nice. That solves the problem. The less pills you use, the better it is, because all these pills do have their side effects, right? So you want to avoid using medication as much as possible. Well, that's about it for psychological impotence in this video. If you have questions, please send them and I'll do my best to answer the questions in the message column. And thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, please, I get my encouragement from you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.